my name is Chloe, welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you a list of 10 books that I would like to organise buddy reads for. So I'm pre-filming this ever so slightly, but it should work with planning buddy reads. So what I like to do is, even if it's a couple months in advance, I like to have books planned in for buddy reads. I'm just a control freak that way. So if this is going up at the start of July, that means pretty much August, September, October, November, December, read these books with me. This may have worked perfectly actually in terms of months, because I have 10 books here. Only one of them I have a specific month I would like to read it in, and I'm thinking of trying to form like a group buddy read for it. But basically there are a couple books that I am struggling to get my head around the idea of reading, and I would like some support. So Emily from Novel Novels is normally my biggest little supporter, and every time, like, we definitely have a buddy read every single month. And she asked me what books I want to buddy read, and I said, well, I'll make a list. And then I thought, why not make a video? And this whole video was sort of, the idea was brought when I looked back at Crazy Rich Asians. So this is in my 20 backlist books I want to read in 2020. And every time I pick it up, I'm far too daunted. So starting off this video, the first book I would like to organise a buddy read for is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. So this is a contemporary about Rachel, who gets a boyfriend called Nicholas, whose family are from Singapore, and she wants to spend the summer in Singapore with her boyfriend. I don't think she doesn't know that he's extremely rich. Like, I think she knows he's got a bit of money, but then he's basically got like a palace at home, and she gets thrown into this life of Crazy Rich Asians. And I would really, really like to read this, but I'm so daunted by it. If anybody would like to reach out and let me know if they want to read it, please do. The next book is actually a buddy read I was planning on doing, but it fell through, and that is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. So this is a YA fantasy that I only bought because of the hype. This is also on my 20 backlist books in 2020, and on the back it says, they killed my mother, they took our magic, they tried to bury us, and now we rise. Would really, really like to read this. I do not want to unhaul it without giving it a chance, but every time I try by myself, I can't quite do it. So I would love to pick this up with somebody too. Next is, I think this is the last one on this list that's also on my 20 backlist books video. That is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I have Scythe, I also have the sequel Thunderhead, and I haven't got round to them myself. This is about a world where you can't die, you have to be killed. What if death was the only thing left to control? In a perfect world, the only way to die is to be gleaned by a professional scythe. When Citra and Rowan are chosen to be apprentice scythes, can't speak, they know they have no option but to learn the art of killing. However, the terrifying responsibility of choosing their victims is just the start. I think I've got hiccups, this is not going well. But yeah, again, another one that every time I try to pick up myself, I can't quite do it, and I feel like the motivation of somebody else reading would definitely help me. Next, I have an adult contemporary literary whatever that I've never got round to, and that is Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. I bought this because I was obsessed with the TV show Jane the Virgin, and she read it in Jane the Virgin, and that is the only reason why I bought it. This is about Bernadette, obviously, who disappears. It says, so she's got a 15-year-old daughter, B, and B starts searching for her mother, which reveals an extraordinary, however we say that word, extraordinary woman trying to find her place in an absurd world. So this is just something that really I'm not interested in. It looks like it's going to be an easy read, like there's a lot of emails and chats and stuff in here, but it's just not something that I am gravitating towards by myself. Next is one I'm going to regret saying. This is the one I want to try and organise a group buddy read for, and that's It by Stephen King. It is, well, my copy is over 1,000 pages long, so I thought we could do a buddy read in October, in the spooky month, and do 100 pages a day. Maybe. I don't see how that's going to happen. I'm also trying to be very cautious because I'm not comfortable here. I have professional accountancy exams towards the end of this year, and like college and stuff, so I don't want to overdo it with reading, But this is something that's been on my shelves a very long time. I don't know if I'm going to like it, and it takes up the space of at least 2 books. So I need to read it. Anyone up for 100 pages a day for 10 days in October? Maybe. It's a doorstop list. You could do some damage. Next, a book I just think is a bit too heavy for me to gravitate towards myself, and that is The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. This is about Lael why did I try? Right, 1942, and this person called Lael in Auschwitz, who is given the job of tattooing the prisoners marked for survival, scratching numbers into his fellow victims' arms to create what would probably become one of the most potent symbols of the Holocaust. Waiting in line to be tattooed, terrified and shaking, was a young girl. For Lael, a dandy, a jack-o'-the-lad, a bit of a chancer, it was love at first sight, and he was determined not only to survive himself, but to ensure this woman, Gita, did too. I didn't actually realise there was a romance in this. That's probably going to help me read it. But yeah, it's a bit too dark for me to want to read this by myself, so I'm hoping somebody out there would also like to pick it up. Another one I've got here is We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. I'd heard amazing things about this book, so I added it to my Goodreads. So I added it to my Amazon wish list, and then I didn't realise quite how big it was. So it is a lovely floppy paperback, so that would help me. But I just feel like this is something I'm going to need some assistance with to get me through it. This is about Henry Denton, who knows his mom is struggling to keep the family together and coping by chain smoking cigarettes. He knows that his older brother is a college dropout with a pregnant girlfriend. He knows that he's slowly losing his grandmother to Alzheimer's, and he knows that his boyfriend committed suicide last year. What Henry doesn't know is why the aliens chose to abduct him when he was 13, and he doesn't know why they continue to steal him from his bed and take him aboard his ship. Definitely weird, definitely not something I pick up on myself. So anyone wants to help me out, much appreciated. 3 more to go. The first one being Cinder by Marissa Meyer. So I did a try a chapter tag thing where I tried the first chapter of this, and I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it enough to keep it, but I also don't want to read the whole thing alone. So this is about 16-year-old Cinder, who is a mechanic and a cyborg. She's a second-class citizen with a mysterious past and is reveled by her stepmother. But when life becomes intertwined with the handsome Prince Kais, she suddenly finds herself at the centre of an intergalactic struggle and forbidden attraction. So it's another one that sounded good, it sounded like I could be intrigued, and it turned out to be a pretty big book. So anyone want to help me out with that one? Next, I have The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. This is one that I am very close to unhauling. It is about Ava Lavender, a girl born with the wings of a bird. And Ava traces the lives and loves of the Rue women as she tries to understand what has made her who she is and what she will become. So that's not really giving me a lot. I think that's the main problem, where I don't actually know what this is about, other than it's got nice foiling on the cover. Yeah, anybody? And finally, I have All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. So I read The Raven Boys this month, well, the month that I am filming this video in. I'm not sure how early I'm going to pre-film this. So I thought that by reading that, I would be more bothered about reading All the Crooked Saints. I'm not, because I gave The Raven Boys 3 stars. Like, I liked the writing, I guess, but not enough to just gravitate towards Maggie Stiefvater's writing. So yeah, I'm going to need a hand with this one. So those are all the books I want to buddy read by the end of the year. As I said, I like buddy reading, like planning buddy reads in advance. So if you've seen one here and you're like, yeah, I'll do it in November, that is perfect. Let me know when you want to read it. I will note it down. I journal a lot. It'll be in my diary. We won't forget it. Especially October. I think I'm going to plan to read this in October anyway, like by myself, but having some motivation from you guys to help me get through this absolute doorstop of a book would be fabulous. Yeah, any of these you want to read, let me know. Get it scheduled in. As long as you don't mind being told, like, yeah, we'll do it September. Perfect for me. So thank you very much for watching this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.